I dyed my hair. I changed my clothing style. I did all of this. I did all of that. It was all crazy. So many things happened. I felt like I was betraying myself. I felt like I didn't recognize who I was. We'll get into this in this story time. Now, I'm reading this for someone, and this is from their perspective, but they don't feel comfortable sharing it, so I'm doing them a favor. I'm not going to say their name. I'm reading it for them because I still want to get this story out, and I'm going to change the name of the person as well. So, like, there's no kind of hint who it is, but let's get into it. So, story time. I almost changed myself for my ex. Now, I was quite an introvert. I was someone who was like, if I have to talk to you, there should be a reason that you can help me, or not in terms of like, oh, only if you could benefit me, but in terms of if you like a teacher, or if you like, I know exactly who you are. I'm not kind of in business of just not knowing who someone is and approaching them. So that's what I mean by if you can help me, not only if you can do something for me, I'm interested in you. Because that kind of sounds vain. But it was kind of like that, you know. I didn't like parties. I really didn't like being on stage and talking in front of lots of people, like assembly in school. I really didn't like that. So when it came to a point where like I was in college and did group activities, I was fine with that because everyone has similar interests. But when it came to like the lunch hall, not really making friends, just people I worked with, that's where everything kind of spiraled out of control because I didn't know where to sit. So sometimes I would just eat inside the cafeteria. I would go outside and a cafe or something. Even if there'll be people there, I didn't know. At least I knew for a fact I wouldn't see those people again. So there would be no, because it would just be like, okay, these are people, they're gonna go about their day, I'm gonna go back my day. But sitting alone at the lunch hall, or worse, asking a seat for someone, that's just so much pressure and so much anxiety, and I really didn't like it. So just things happened in like college, and um, the guy said, "You can sit here," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." Like I didn't ask; he just offered. And I was like, "Oh." I normally go outside. It was raining that day really hard, so yeah, I really wouldn't enjoy to go outside. But it was a really nice offer of the guy, so he did it. And then he was asking me like, "Oh, what do you study?" So like this person was in like my class, obviously. And I was like, I studied this, and he was like, I studied that. And it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was like, that's pretty cool too. That's kind of how the story went. And then things got really crazy because he was like, even college that day, and he was like, where do you live? And that's very personal information. But I was just like, I'm on campus somewhere. I don't feel too comfortable saying it. And he was like, whoa, my house is like 5 minutes away from being on campus. Wow, that's so cool. And then he was like walking back, and then it was like the spot that I normally eat at. They was like, hey, it's me. Hey, it's you. Are you gonna go here again? And he was like, whoa, I've never had that type of food before. Can I try some? It seems like you coming often, so what would you recommend? I felt a bit awkward. I was like, I would recommend this. And then he tried it, and he was like, he didn't like it. He just didn't like it. I was like, you know what? I'm glad I tried it. It's I gave an effort, and that's a good thing. But it's not for me. And I was like, okay, that's fair. And then we were just talking as like friends. We become friends, just like gradually about our courses and everything. Then get to a point where it's February the 14th, and we all know that's Valentine's Day. And again, we're just friends. And I've never asked if he was single. He's never asked if I was single. And it's like, was kind of like leaving him on. I was like, oh, this day's gonna be awful, right? And he was like, why? And I was like, well, it's Valentine's Day, and that's just never been a good day for me. He was like, why? Yeah. And I said, oh, so you must have always had a girlfriend, or always. He said, no, I haven't. And I was like, so you don't find this a bit like awkward this day? I said, no, why? And it was clear he didn't get it, so I just kind of moved on to the subject. It's like, okay, well, see you later. And she was like, I actually had feelings for me. You wouldn't mention the word girlfriend unless you want to be my girlfriend. I was like, whoa, where are you getting that from? And he was like, you tell me all the time that the only person you talk to, and we've been talking for a while now, you must feel something. And it's not even like you showed me pictures of your family or anything. So you're keeping something hidden from me, and it has to be hit. You love me, right? I was like, love, whoa. At that point, we had been talking for like 9 months. It's like, yeah, I haven't made it clear that we just want to be friends. It's not like I've even said it, hey, this is my friend. So I was like, it's probably the only person I've been in a relationship. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. He's like, then can you treat me as a friend? Because I feel like you got this big barrier on, and lots of people don't talk to you. I could be one of those people. I don't want to, like, it's not about just seeing pictures of family. First of all, it's like, I know nothing about you that isn't kind of obvious. And I said, well, I keep my cards close to my chest. I said, how's that working out for you? And then I was about to slap him, and then we kissed. And then we started dating. Now, I would describe myself as a tomboy. I'd wear clothes that aren't revealing. I would kind of have short hair. I would not paint my nails or do makeup. I would have like, I listen to like folk music and everything like that. And he always knew this, like he always did. But that was when we was kind of friends. But when we was dating, one time he said, "Hey dude, how are you?" And even though I like feel I describe myself as a tomboy, I found the word dude offensive because it's saying because I don't dress like this, I'm not feminine, I'm not a woman. So I was like, "Can you not call me dude?" And he was like, "Sorry, my guy." And I was like, "Can you not call me guy either?" And he said, then he said my name, which is a name that can be used for both girls and boys. But he did it in a deeper voice than he normally does. And that just made me feel the type of way. So I was like, I feel like you're going too in on this tomboy thing. And he was like, hey, it's just how I feel comfortable with, I don't want you to change. And then I was like, I could just like, I'm going to change how I dress for 1 month and see if you call me those things. And if you do, then we have to break up. I mean, if you don't call me them things, because then you're saying the way I would dress, besides my personality. So I wore makeup, I wore dresses, I did all that stuff. And he like treated me so much better. Before it was like, oh, that's my girlfriend. I'm really cool with her and respect. But it was like I was just like queen. I was like always pulled the chairs out. Well, we always brought everything to dinner, but like it felt different. The way he talked to me, the things he showed me, like the places he took me, like even like cried watching a movie. Before it was like he would watch a movie that he was on his phone all the time, but he actually cried. He would be like emotional towards it, and I had to break up because I felt so fake and phony and plastic doing that. But that was also the only time I felt like you weren't just friends that happened to date. You were a couple where there was clearly love, and I felt like elevated on a pedestal. And I just didn't feel right to change myself that much to feel that way. So yeah, that's my story. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for this being read out because I forgot to share my name or with the guy or everything like that. But thank you for the confidentiality and thank you for this story time. All right, guys, that's it. Let me know what you think. More of these on the way. Goodbye and good night. Wow.